Hey everyone! So last week I promised to answer some questions from the latest vlog I made about my training here in Portland, in SBG Portland, for the last 3 months. To remind everyone who was not included, who didn't watch the video, I've been in a program called Wim to Warrior, which is a 22-week, basically a 6 month commitment to train 5 days per week, 5:30 a.m. to 7. I train right after that for at least another hour, and I try to do some extra training, going to some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes. So I've been training quite a bit recently, and if you want to learn more about that, just watch the previous video. It's called something like 3 months of intensive MMA training in Portland. But I won't waste your time anymore, and we'll jump straight into the questions that you asked in the video comments of that video. So I have my computer in front of me, and I'll just go from the top to bottom. The highest rated comments oftentimes are at the top, so those are the ones we'll start to look at first, and we'll see how far we can get. First question: are you planning on studying other martial arts after Wim to Warrior? What martial arts? So am I planning to train MMA? For sure, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for sure. Other martial arts, I am interested to try Judo. I don't know if it will click with me, but a lot of people asked me actually to try Judo, so it's on my list. I remember what you guys asked. It's just I've been training so intense and so much these days, but whenever my schedule will become a little bit lighter, my training schedule, I promise you I will go to the Judo gym. I'll go to the Judo dojo and try out Judo and record it, and maybe I like it, and maybe I'll train some more. Otherwise, I mean, wrestling, everything that's included in MMA, I'm down to training it. The thing is, like other martial arts, traditional martial arts, I had 14 years of Aikido, and I don't feel like I want to get my hands into that realm anymore whatsoever. I have enough with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have enough with mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts is a huge combo. It's boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. There's so much to learn there that I don't think I will need something outside of it anytime soon. But will I continue to train MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? For sure. All right, next question. How do you think your body type has affected your training? As a tall, skinny guy and beginner to martial arts, I've found both strengths and weaknesses when compared to my peers, though it's easy to conflate weaknesses due to body type with weaknesses due to lack of training. I'd love to hear your thoughts and discoveries. So it's a great question. I love your sincerity, your honesty, that it can be sometimes related more to lack of training rather than the actual body type. The good thing for me is back when I was a teen, I was very athletic. I used to train like hell. I used to, that's why I wear Son Goku, because I used to be inspired by him. I would put weights on, I would do like push-ups, pull-ups, weightlifting, punching bag. I did everything. And as soon as I started training more physical martial arts, I mean functional martial arts like training MMA here, I feel my body got into shape quite quickly. I mean, I'm starting to gain muscle mass. I'm going to talk about that more. I remember there's some people asking about some questions about my weight. But to give a heads up already, yeah, I gained quite a bit of weight, quite some muscle mass. I definitely look thicker and feel much stronger. So being tall, I'm also athletic in that sense. So that skinny side is not necessarily doesn't necessarily feel like it's taking away anything from me. Also, too, when you train jiu-jitsu, it's not about using strength, and I'm doing my best. That's one of the philosophies of SBG Portland, is not to use your raw physical strength, but to use techniques instead. And I'm trying to do my best to do that. I am avoiding using my physical strength there, although I could. There's definitely something there. But that's, whether there's physical force there or not, that's not the most important part. Cardio, endurance, yes, that helps. Sometimes, obviously, muscle strength helps as well. But since I'm not really focusing on using it, that helps me way more to. I mean, that doesn't just become a problem in that sense, whether you're skinny or thick. Now, in terms of length, in terms of my limbs, a lot of people keep commenting that my arms are huge ass long. They're like almost freak arms, and my legs are long. So I am able to maintain a long reach, and that creates quite a hell for even people of my height. You have to be significantly higher to have the same reach as I do, and I'm doing my best to use that when I'm training, when I'm sparring. So So yeah, that definitely has a significance in how I train. Like even like being a tall person, if I go for a double leg takedown, that's harder for me than to do some more top related takedown, kind of a trip, let's say. Having long legs too, I can kick people away. I can kick and maintain distance better, and I definitely try to look into that and use that as my strengths. And I do feel they are long limbs are is my strength. Even in jiu-jitsu as well, some movements, yes, it's a bit hell. Like even like the scissor sweep, getting my legs in front of the person, those huge ass legs, sometimes is tricky. Or if I'm, let's say I'm on the bottom and somebody's mounting me and I need to lock their legs before I do a takedown, to lock their legs with my legs. Sometimes it's just, if it's a small person, those legs are like, I can barely reach them. And there's some other movements where that happens. Well, let's say using my guard, using my long legs for my guard, I think it's quite a hell for a lot of people. There's those legs, they're strong legs, they're flexible. I'm flexible because I did yoga for years. And there's the length, so connect all those together, and yeah, my guard keeps people in quite well, I'd say. So I definitely see that as my strength. As I said, there's some weaknesses like going down, leveling, going for a double leg takedown, or just yeah. So basically, adapting my height sometimes is not easy. But I feel there's way more powers in that and way more benefits than the contrary, being long and having long limbs. And as long as you keep on training your physical strength and you keep on developing that side to side, you're not just being skinny and that's it. I think you can create some difficult situations for your training partners and opponents. Next question. So no more Aikido. Yes, and that's a short answer. But my next video, I'm planning to make a whole video talking about my relationship with Aikido right now. So I'll leave that long answer for that video. Next question. Thank you very much for your logs, and I hope to complete your journey as you planned. I want your opinion regarding Judo in MMA and self-defense. Now the thing is, I haven't done judo, so I mean I could give my random general opinion, but I don't think it's worth it. You can always look for experts who know their stuff, and I have not done judo before, so I will just not answer this one because we have limited time to record this. I will leave this for some better person to answer. Next one. So how do you support your lifestyle if you only train, eat, use internet, and sleep? Well, first of all, use the internet. Internet is my job right now. YouTube is one of my primary sources of income, and also I have some other online means. There's a Patreon page, which I'm not active in, but some people are generous enough to support me, support my journey. If you want to do that too, check my Patreon page. It's going to be there in the link. But also, I released an Udemy course for Aikido falling safely and rolling. I feel that's one of the most unique and beneficial parts that Aikido does offer. So I did create 2 courses, and I'm still planning to film a third one when I'm back in my country. And they get some people keep buying them, those courses, and they give some financial means to me as well. And so yeah, those 3 things connected, combined, I am able to make a living. It's a modest living. I'm not like rich, but I mean, just doing what I love, and training and pursuing my passion, pursuing my dream, even if it's a modest life, I think it's worth it. I think it's great. So yeah, that's your answer. And the last thing, when YouTube is a job where you don't need to sit 8 hours per day. There's only significant, you have to tap in and do things and keep it going, but that does give me quite a bit of time to work on myself in the meantime. Are you going to continue your martial arts journey after you complete Women to Warrior MMA program? Do you plan teaching BJJ and MMA in the future? That's a good question, and it's something that I'm asking. Honestly, that's something that I'm still asking myself. For years, I had very specific plans. I knew exactly what I'm going to do and what's going to be for the next year and for the next year. And I was pursuing my dream of running my Aikido dojo for 8 years consistently. I was running it then afterwards for 7 years. without a break. And these days, I just want to be more. I want to be back in, as I said before, a student mindset, to be a student, and also to just allow myself to be without a plan, at least for a while, to rest a little bit from big, grandiose, ambitious, detailed plans. Meanwhile, though, I do look into myself. I ask myself, so what could be my next step? But to answer directly, if I'm going to continue my martial arts journey, for sure. I mean, I'm going to definitely keep on training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. I just love it. I feel it's definitely a significant part of my life. About teaching, I will say yes. I'm considering that. I'm considering about going through the teachers program of Ibjjf Portland, maybe getting some teaching skills in BJJ and MMA. But whether I want to make it into a full-time profession on my own, I am considering that, I'll be honest. But yet, it's still, first of all, it'll take time. After these 6 months, for sure, I will not be ready to teach yet these specific realms. But whether in the future that may happen, I'd say yes, that may happen. But whether that will, we'll still see. Would you go so far as to say that in 3 months you learned more about fighting than all your previous years combined? That's a great question. That's something I specifically thought about, and I'd say yes. As funny as this is, the answer is yes. After doing 14 years of Aikido, really committedly, and even some Ning Chun, a little bit of karate, I'd say yes. In these 3 months, I learned more about fighting, for sure, more than in the years combined. Even like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I did a little bit of in the past, that gave me that sense as well, but it's uncompared to what I experienced and how much I learned in these friends when I'm training, in these 3 months when I'm training every day, so many hours, putting so many hours in it, being surrounded by people who live all about that and thinking all the time about it. Definitely feels like I learned way more than I learned in all that decade. And also MMA, it's just so packed, it's so efficient. Only the functional things are left. And yes, it's sports based. There's some things which are missing, like defense against weapons or the psychological aspect of self-defense. But that's right now we're talking about fighting. We're not talking about self-defense. So for sure, the answer is yes. What have you learned about importance of attitude and fighting spirit in the past months, if any? I mean, I considered it, and I believe that's an important thing, but I also partly I think it's a self-evident thing that heart is important, and for sure I believe that if you step in as a loser, if you're expecting to win, I have experienced that in the past, going into a jiu-jitsu competition, being feeling like I came here to lose. That definitely raises the percentage of you losing much more. And the times where I stepped in like ready to kick ass, I did way better than I think I could have done with the skills I had at the day. So that I learned that already before, but I think it's just I just value that a lot, and I think it's an important part. In all the time learning SBG, do you feel more competent in striking and grappling? So more competent, that's kind of a modest way of saying it. So I'd say for sure, but even like way better, I'd say yes. The answer is yes. I learned a lot. I feel way more comfortable sparring, getting punched in the face, punching. In the grappling as well, I said in the previous video, I feel I'm starting to realize what grappling is about and how to transition from one position to another. Just having an idea of what I'm doing and where I'm heading for and what's the right response. And there's still so much to learn, but for sure, I feel way more competent than I was before. One question that's clearly Aikido related. Did your Aikido teacher ever teach you Kaishiwaza or Henkawaza? So Kaishiwaza for sure. Kaishiwaza is a reversal technique when you reverse it. And variations of Henkawaza as well, but I won't go deep into that, but I'll just tell you it still didn't help at all. I mean, it's a little bit more alive than the rest, but it's still compliant to a big degree. And yeah, anyway, I just don't even want to talk about it. My answer is yes, but do I see value in it today? A little bit, but not much. That's not a question, but a statement I'd like to comment on. You have filled out a bit. You look strong and healthy, less like a yoga instructor. Thank you. I laughed out loud when I read the less like a yoga instructor. but I agree. I definitely see what you mean, and thank you. It's nice to hear that. I definitely feel way stronger and healthier. I am tired, like even right now. Maybe you can see. I mean, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. 5 days per week, training like hell. There's not a lot of time for recovery, so I am tired. But also, I feel way stronger than I've been for years, and even actually healthier. So yeah. Thanks for noticing that. Uh, Next question. So, what are your plans to continue this kind of training once the program is over and you're back in EU, European Union? What's the long-term plan now? I guess I answered that, but basically, yes, I am planning to continue to train. I don't know exactly how I will continue to train in Europe, MMA or BJJ. In the town I come from, where my home is, there is a gym, but I prefer a different type of approach to teaching and training than the gym offers. I mean, that's why I came here to learn in the SBG. I will be honest, and I'll let you know that I am considering to come back here, like to go to Lithuania, take care of some things, and come back here for a few more months and do training based on my schedule, maybe do it a few different times. So that plan is definitely on a high percentage level, but I still have to look into how it works. And yeah, but basically, yeah, that's definitely a chance that that may happen. What happens after then? I guess I commented about that already. Again, the question of how are you 29 and don't work and just train? I do work, but it's a specific work, but I answered that. Somebody says you're going to cram a couple of years of casual training into 6 months of that rate. I actually feel that way too. So yeah, that's a nice thing to do. That's one of the reasons why I did want to commit to this program and do it intensely rather than just do a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But life is short. I'm getting older, not younger. Let's not waste time. Again, don't you need to go to work or study? Do you make a living from YouTube, or are you in a month holiday or trying this program for just a while? I just don't know anyone who's not being able a full-time professional athlete or who has a bit of vibrant life outside of that can keep up with such an intense routine. Do I have a vibrant life outside of the mat right now? No, my life is actually a little bit boring in that sense. I mean, I love training. Training is exciting. But apart from that, as I said in the previous video, I come back home after training exhausted. I eat a lot. I go to sleep, take a nap. I wake up, do a couple of hours of computer work. I eat again, watch something on Netflix, stretch, go to bed at 7, 8, and the day restarts. So yeah, I'm not having much of a vibrant life outside of the mat. But I do feel lucky. I mean, I had to work my ass off to be able to do this. I mean, to have a strong enough following on YouTube to be able to make a living from it. And as I said, I'm living modestly, but I do feel it's a blessing. It's something I'm really appreciative of that it's possible. It's something I worked for, but it happened, and I think it's very special to have that. And I can't say I don't appreciate it, but yeah, I do understand not everyone is capable of doing that. But at the same time, I feel if you really want something and if you're really striving for it and you work for it hard enough and long enough and smart enough, a lot of things are possible. And this was risky. This decision coming here, I had to sacrifice quite a bit. I had to work for this quite a lot as well before, especially. Like, I put a lot of extra work into YouTube to be able to support myself while I'm here. I still put into and work here on YouTube and have a lot of other ideas and ways to work my way around. So it doesn't just come for free and out of nowhere. And also, most people never take these risks. Most people just live their lives in their safe comfort zone. They do the things they do again and again and in a repetitive fashion. They don't try to attain something more. They don't sacrifice part of their lives for something greater. And then you can't complain then that you can't complain then that you're not living a life of your dreams, that you're not living something exceptional. So yes, I am lucky in one sense to be able to do this right now, and I appreciate it a lot, but also that luck part has been a result of a lot of work and a lot of risks, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of everything. So let's not definitely take this for granted. Do you reckon your current self would beat previous Rokas in a duel? I think it's pretty likely. I think it's a 100% chance. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I would beat my ass off like bad. Like when I started here, the first times I sparred with a competition MMA competition team in Ibjjf Portland, I mean, I was flinching and I was turning away and I had no clue what to do. It's just like I was being destroyed. But every time I train, every week, every next week, and the guys in the gym, they acknowledge that they'd be like, "Oh, you're doing way better," and I would feel like the progress definitely feels like even if you watch the videos, the sparring videos, the first one and the second one, there's already a significant improvement between the two, and the improvement just keeps on going. So if you would take me at the beginning when I came here and I'd have to spar with myself at the day, for sure I would beat my ass. That's a good comment. Are you complaining? Try working 40 hours a week. I mean, yeah, that's a good statement. I mean, as I said, I feel it's like humanity is fond of complaining, and I feel like whatever good life you have, you will still most likely complain. And I do catch myself sometimes when I complain. I'm like, I stop and like, what am I complaining about? I'm living, doing what I love and what I'm passionate about, and I have some positive influence upon other people, and that's a wonderful thing to have. And sometimes when I catch myself complaining, yeah, I stop and I realize, yeah, this is a little bit silly, but still, it's nice to complain sometimes, and it's nice to. I mean, we all tend to do that, and letting off steam, that's kind of part of what you need sometimes. So I'm with you. I agree with you, and yeah, I can't disagree with you. But you know, again, we're all human. Question: am I going to do the IBJJF Portland competition? I considered that, and I thought about it. I think it may be doing some other commitment I have, but also I'll be honest and say it's not a cheap one. I think it's like $80 or something, and money is, as I said, it's not something I'm rich of. So kind of having those two things together, and also too, I mean, well, I mean, I would if I would have no other commitments and I would have enough money, I'd probably do it. But there's a big chance I just won't be able to make it this time. But too bad. It would be nice to see you there. Someone is asking for wrestling clips. For sure, that's a great idea. I'll look into filming them. Somebody's asking if there are other students with interesting stories like mine. Might be fun to hear about their experiences. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting people. Like SBG is just such a wonderful community, and there's so many great people there. But similar to my story, there's a guy from Hawaii who came here like a year ago, and he's training full time to become a professional UFC fighter. And I like the guy so much that he's having his fight very soon on March 2nd, and I decided to document his journey and his first fight and just a little bit about him. So you'll see actually a video about him soon. But also there's a lot of other people. Like there's a deaf person in the Winter Warrior program, which is it's so interesting to be training while having one less sensory experience than other people. And just like in the Winter Warriors, like some people are driving like 2 hours. They wake up like at 3:30 a.m. and they drive for 2 hours for the class, and they all have the reasons. So it's quite fascinating here. But I'll think about it. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe making a video about all their stories. So that's, yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, I'll be actually stopping here because already I don't want to make this video too long, but if you have some more questions, if I did not answer something, make sure to write those questions below in the comments, and I'll make, in the future, in a few weeks, I'll make another video about this. As I said, I will film a video about my relationship to Aikido these days, what I think about Aikido, and what I think about the whole story of what happened when I look back now. And also, but the most exciting thing here is my fight. And my fight, we made a final decision. It's going to be on April 6th in Montana. Can't say right now the specific place, but if you live in Montana, let me know in the comments. I'll give you the specific place so you can come and watch me fight. But yeah, I'm going to fight another Winter Warrior person from the program, which is happening there. We're going to fight at 185 pounds. I'm excited, and I still have like a good month and a half or so until the fight. So yeah, this is gonna happen. Write down that date. Soon enough after that, I'll definitely release the video of the fight. And if you can come and watch me fight and get to say hi, for sure, do that. I'd be enthusiastic to have that experience together with you. So again, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments, and we'll continue later, and I'll see you on the virtual mat again soon.